Alright, so what's going on, Earthlings in the Milky Way? So now what we're going to do is record 30 minutes of our podcast.
Video-wise, and the rest of it can be found wherever you get your podcast. iTunes, Spotify, literally anywhere else you get your podcast. We're out there. Scientists this week have discovered that there may be 36 intelligent civilizations in our own galaxy. And you know what that means? Absolutely nothing. Only you matter. Only I matter. You and I rule it. Let's get it.
Hey.
That was a terrible introduction. I am so sorry,
I like
everybody.
that. I totally forgot about the whole the 36 like civilizations out there besides us.
Hey, for everybody just starting to listen, my name is Isaac, and this is my co-host.
Rodolfo.
And this is Today in the Milky Way, a podcast about life and the struggles of trying to make it as creatives and learning along the way. Today we're going to be talking about how we got to where we are today in terms of progression, accountability, and overall goal accomplishment, because we started this endeavor in last November when I came back.
Yeah.
And we really fully launched and started being serious about it at the start of the year. So we've been now podcasters for 6 months. How do you feel?
Yeah, going on 6 months. Dude, so far so good. I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie. During the first couple of months of starting this thing out, like, it was a struggle. Remember, it was like one thing after another. Like,
Yeah.
it was just nothing but like shit, we didn't do this right. Shit, we didn't do that right. Or just it wasn't moving as fast or as smooth as we wanted it to go. But now that I feel like we have a little bit of momentum going on,
Yeah.
and like things are starting to fall in place.
That's right. Hey, and for all you listeners, we always first start. I feel like I cut you off, bro.
No,
I am so sorry. What a piece of trash I turned out to be.
Yeah, fucking garbage.
Fuck, bro.
Damn,
I'm
bro.
sorry.
I
But
found them by the dump, by the way.
hey, but for all you new listeners, we always start by trying to make at least some part of you listening to this beneficial for you. And me and Rodolfo spend a lot of time trying to curate recommendations that you can take with you and possibly consume as you go through your shitty week, if your week is as shitty as ours normally.
Okay. So?
Yeah, and I actually started with the recommendation, which is look up into this whole thing about intelligent life being out in our own universe and galaxy, because it really puts you in this headspace, bro. Like, really think about it. There could be 36 other fucking worlds like Earth, but just with different fucking aliens, different kind of beings, different kind of, like, do they podcast? You know what I mean? Like, do they jerk off too? How do they reproduce? Are they like double sex, like fucking what are those, like seahorses? Yeah, just like, you know what, fuck me, I'm gonna have babies this time. I don't know, you know, like, how do these worlds run? And the potential that there could be 36 out there is even crazier, dude.
It's crazy because, like, when I heard that, I'm like, no shit, bro. I feel like
really,
yeah, dude. I'm like, dude, I think it's just kind of one of those questions where it's like, growing up, it's all like, at least for me, I'm like, I know, you know. It's kind of like, if you know, you know. Then, like, I know. Also,
you have that aunt who has an alien encounter. She told me all about it one time. I was high on your sidewalk, and she just walked up to me, and she was like, "Do you want to know how I got abducted by aliens?" And I was like, "Yeah." And Alexa was like, "Dude, don't egg her on, your sister." So I feel like if you're growing up around that, hell yeah, you definitely believe in aliens, homie.
Yeah, dude. I mean, why not? I mean, but it is crazy to think that, like, people that turned it down for so long are now coming on board and being like, yo, this is, like, this shit might be real, you know what I mean?
And just so don't, no, go ahead.
But like, instead of pushing you to say, oh, there's nothing out there, like, they're bringing you the people that are known to, like, tear your dreams down about this, or, you know?
Like, aliens wise?
Yeah.
Bro, one time I asked my grandma if aliens were real, my step grandma, and she beat me, bro. Like, she like, only Jesus is out there. Pop, 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 pop.
Right?
Yeah, because my family's so religious, you guys. Got that little lashing.
If you look deep into it, Jesus is an alien.
What?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about this.
So in all of my investigations,
Okay, go.
in all my investigations, so they always talk about this one figure coming down from the sky in like some type of like cloud type thing.
Okay.
Which pretty much has given the people life and sorts of technology.
Jesus gave technology?
So that's kind of like, that's a little, like, that's one person that they think gave him technology. And that person, they know him as God. But there's also other people. So there's like multiple gods instead of just the one. But like, I think the dude that came in that one time was set as like God. But there's multiple like different like alien civilizations that came and gave us like knowledge and information and ways to do stuff.
Where are you getting your sources from? I gotta ask, bro.
Nat Geo.
No.
Nat Geo,
really?
just like surfing the interweb.
Yeah,
bro, you can find a lot of crazy
stuff. You gotta
stuff
come correct with some shit, bro. So wait, so you're talking about Jesus himself is the original, or you're talking about another God, and then Jesus somehow came along after all the gods came and gave us information, as you say?
So So Jesus is multiple different peoples, but there's a certain image out there that like hieroglyphs and stuff that resemble God, and people made this guy into that God figure, and that's kind of like where the Bible became.
Or that's where it began? Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the guy that did everything, because like, again, like in Egypt or like the Mayans and who else? There's like these, there's some crazy ass, like before the Mayans and stuff that like they have their gods.
You talking about the Sumerians?
No, older than that. I think.
Older than the Sumerian? Okay, are you talking about...
Dude, I forget.
Sumerians might be some of the oldest advanced civilizations, and before that, bro, you can't come spewing this shit at me, bro. I'm fucking obsessed with archaeology. But
it's crazy. If you look at dude.
So multiple Jesus is an alien as per Rodolfo.
Yes.
Okay, shit. We'll roll with that. Hey, if for any of you guys listening, we're making fucking new t-shirts, and in the comments, if you get this far, just type in the comment Maya, the Mayan code, as Rodolfo said. Type in the Mayan code, and I'll send the first 5 people who type that. I'll give you guys a free t-shirt. These are gonna be dope. So,
I'm part Mayan, by the way.
Are you?
On my mama's side.
I don't know if I can believe anything.
My mom knows how to.
My mom knows how to speak. Jesus is an alien, bro.
My mom knows how to speak Mayan.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Bro, she be making some good ass Mexican food. I'll tell you what. And that bro, Rodolfo's mom, one time when I was a kid, she made this chicken that looked like you just rolled it around in like black charcoal. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't want to offend them by not eating it. And it's to this day one of my favorite dishes in the world.
Relleno negro, bro. You can never go wrong.
Fuck, bro.
Fire.
We don't have that in the region of Mexico where I'm from, so
I recommend that.
Like nobody I asked that's like in my family, they're like, "What the fuck is that? What do you mean, bro, black mole?"
That's just that southern Mayan culture right there. Bro.
Okay. Well, going back to the 36 possible civilizations and believing that aliens are out there, bro. The reason that this is my recommendation is because like this new research that just came out like last week. It's also being discredited because it's an assumption of the Drake equation. And the Drake equation is like the equation made to guess how many like civilizations could be out there. I don't understand the math of it. And like new researchers are like, hey, like we are tweaking the equation a little bit, and like and we found out that there could be possible civilizations, and they're assuming like they have a strong assumption that there's more life out there based on their new findings, and that's kind of getting discredited. But what about the fucking U.S. government releasing UFO videos? Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Come on. And then, I don't know if you know this, bro, but the Lovell telescope, it was created in the 1950s, and it gets radio waves from the universe. And that's how we're actually able to map out, like, the existing, like, how big the galaxy and the universe is. I hope I'm not wrong, all you fucking scientist people, let me know. And, or astronomy people. And this telescope, bro, has been getting outer space signals. It's been around since the 60s, but now it's starting to get a signal recently the same radio frequency signal. So it's like a code. So it'll be like, I wrote it down what it was. It's like the same stop and start pattern. So it'll be like boom, 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 boom in a pattern, and it's coming from like a distant galaxy here in the Milky Way, bro. Yeah. So, I'm in the Milky Way. Or is it in the Milky Way, or is it another galaxy besides the Milky Way? Because galaxies are different. Yeah, my bad.
Like that's like a whole nother solar system type galaxy thing.
Well,
right?
I think within the galaxy are solar systems, and then there's different galaxies. So the Milky Way is a galaxy, and then there's other ones. Damn, we must sound so retarded. Hey, I'm just saying, ever since we changed the name, I am trying to become way more astronomy cultured. So give me a fucking break out there.
I just need to remember every term.
Yeah, Jesus is an alien. What the fuck is that, bro? You heard it here in my garage first. Revelations from Rodolfo himself. Are you?
Stay tuned.
Yeah, dude. Some people think he's Jesus walking around and shit. Look at him.
I'm an actual alien, bro. Not from the Milky Way.
going back to the progression, though, I did want to talk about how, because so everybody, we started this fucking podcast where I have just come back from my trip. I was living in a bus, bumming around the United States. I come back, bro. I have nothing going for me in terms of like, I have a skill, which is videography, but I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just fucking like done. Where are you at this moment in time, life wise? Back last November.
Since last November, dude, it's like fucking night and day of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So back in November, what was I doing? Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like ever since we started doing this podcast, him keeping me accountable and always pushing me to do shit has kept me on that path of what's the word of progression. No.
Sexiness?
Of just kind of like rolling, just kind of being productive. Fuck.
Oh, being productive.
Why can I? Shit, being productive. So I think with that coming together, it's like I've tried to quit procrastinating with stuff. So I still struggle with that, but pushing hard and doing everything that I've been wanting to do, but actually doing it has put me in a better path. Like now, like work's going pretty good. I've actually just recently moved out.
That's what I wanted to talk about this, bro. I'm so fucking proud of you, brother.
Recently moved out of the old place I was at, and I just got a nice little studio.
Where is it?
In the heart of Belltown.
That's right, man. My man is living right next to the Space Needle, baby.
Right next to the Space Needle. So that seems to like that's awesome. But with that too, I mean, I feel like my photography games has stepped up quite a bit. 100%. Then, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, both of us, like his videography, his editing, everything's been going dope. I mean, dude, he's been having some phone calls lately. So I mean, that's definitely a big step, or that's just definitely progress. Like our work being shown.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was gonna.
What's that word? Why can't I think of anything?
Productive?
No, it's like when people see your work.
You nervous, bro?
Yeah. No, but
what do you mean? No, when people see your work, showcasing?
No,
exhibition?
It's all, or people notice.
Oh, people noticing.
Work,
yeah.
Damn, why can't I cannot talk right now.
Dude, it's
I hope
good.
It wasn't the shot.
Oh, we did take a couple shots before we started. You know, loosen up the little nerves. I do want to say, I'm super proud of you, and it's not only that you're saying I'm pushing you, but it's the same back and forth, you know. And this kind of goes off what we were talking about last week on the last podcast. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
And
that was a good name, by the way.
Because it does, like, you have to be around like-minded people in order to progress into what you want to do, and you have to have people with similar goals, maybe not the same exact goals, you know what I mean? But I feel like the reason I wanted to start this podcast in the first place was because obviously I talk a lot. I'm a very dramatic. I'm probably. Do you know anybody more dramatic than me?
Negative.
Bro, it's a bad trait, you guys. But I do my best to like keep it down. But also, I wanted to. I really wanted to start this podcast because, like, at the time, my life was kind of like the trip. You know, me and Alec, even though like we just talked yesterday, bro. I'll talk about it later, but we talked yesterday and we were talking about like all these memories that we've had, me, you, and Alex, since I got out of the military.
Yeah.
Like, we were literally broken, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were fucking smoking heroin, bro.
Yeah.
You know? And I got out of the military super fat, hurt, and like with a huge amount of debt for something I don't want to talk about. You know, I got my identity stolen and just life is shitty. Same with Alec. You know, we were all terrible.
He was actually broken.
Yeah, like he couldn't even walk, you guys. And so just coming together and living together, we fucking got an apartment. Like, I literally spent my life savings because my credit was so bad at the time because of the fucking identity theft. I spent my life savings being able to lease out our place because I had to put a down payment, security deposit, and then first and last month. And then like it ended up almost being like $5,000, something like that, almost.
Damn.
And then I had $900 left, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have a fucking school. And then my car had just gotten stolen. Like, I had nothing, bro. And it just like, I remember the first month living in the apartment, my account was negative $27. And I was like, how are we going to make ends meet? And then I go out in the balcony and like right behind the porno theater, just watching fucking people come into the porno theater, living in like the most ghetto corner, super high crime rate, you know, like you can't even go out at night because you might get robbed type of shit. And it's just like, fuck, man, what am I going to do? And I think all of us moving in together, just pieces of shit, alcoholics, drug addicts, because we were doing a lot of drugs back then too, you know?
A lot.
And to where I am now, you know, and where you are now, living downtown. We both live downtown.
Yeah.
And that was I remember one time we were riding bikes and we were talking about how nice it would be to live in the city. Yeah. And it was like a faraway dream, and like literally we're there. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't even.
Yeah. So think about that.
We did talk about
that.
Stuff
Was fucking
like that.
2015. Damn. Like, dude, it's so cool in the city. We would drive like 30 minutes to the city just to hang out in the city, not even party, like just be in the city, like in that atmosphere. And now we fucking live there.
See? Hey,
you know what I mean?
Patience. Whatever you want to happen, it'll come.
And
when you least expect it.
Well, I wanted to talk about some of the things that help get us there because, you know, besides, like I said in the last podcast, we're talking about friendship and how your friends mean everything, in the sense of like, if you have really good friends, you know, you always have your friends that party. You always have your friends that like just kind of work 9 to 5s, have kids, and that's okay. You know, that's okay if that's the type of person you are. But if you want more out of life, you have to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. And I feel like that's when I came back from the bus trip. It felt like a failure, bro, because me and Alec didn't end up going to Mexico, even though we were supposed to be gone for 2 years, and we only ended up making it 8 months and 2 weeks, you know? Yeah. And it felt so sad when we both made the realization, like, hey, we have to go back home. You know, we were both, like, super bummed out. And just coming back home and trying to figure out what I was going to do is probably like the scariest moment of my life, you know? Yeah. It's like when I first joined the military, when I got out of the military and decided to make the decision that I wasn't going to work at a cushy job being a jet engine mechanic and trying to be a creative person. And then imagine having us all live together in the apartment, and that's where we were like making the progression as humans of who we were to be, who we are becoming, right? Like, think about living in the apartment and being like, hey, maybe we shouldn't drink as much. Maybe we shouldn't do drugs anymore to this extent. You know, let's keep it to the medicinal drugs. You know, like, let's just microdose. And then just progressing from, like, we were drinking, like, 4 or 5 bottles a week to now, like, I drink in this podcast. Yeah. You know? Damn. So, or, like, just Alec becoming, like, a super extraordinary fucking professional trainer. And then you doing the same thing. You become a personal trainer. And then you're like, you know what? I've always wanted to take fucking photos. That was in 2017, my friends. Yeah. So you're only 3 years into like being a photographer. And you're doing good. You know what I mean? And I'm 5 years into trying to do this. So sometimes I'm just so happy that I stuck with you guys and we like decided to grow together and like just you getting your apartment, I was like, bro, you know, Alex moving to New York with the girl of his dreams.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'm married to the girl of my dreams, living in a good house. I'm looking to buy a house, bro.
Things are
You know
going
what I
good,
mean?
yeah.
So
Things are going good in the Milky Way right now.
yeah, but you know, we're still struggling.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
just
the
got
biggest
my car
thing.
towed.
What? Dude,
Yeah,
when?
bro.
What
I was
the
so
fuck?
hurt.
What
Dog,
happened?
Monday.
Well, from where?
Dog, from in front of the apartment.
Really?
So like right now in Seattle, like all the parking, all the like 8 to 8 parking
Mm-hmm.
is free.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So pretty much people are just kind of parking like all over the city like all day because they can right now because of COVID. So I parked my car in front of the building, but I honestly I didn't notice the sign that says I can't park there from 6 to 8, and then so from 6 to 8, and then from like 4 to 6 or some shit like that.
Damn, dude.
I didn't notice that. I thought it was 8 to 8 parking all day, you know. But then there's like the little window that I didn't know, so I woke up at like I was walking to my car at like 7, and then from there, I'm like shit. Like I walked Peanut in the morning. I walked out. I hit that court. I just hit that left look, and like nothing was there, and I'm like, fuck, no, dog. And the worst part, the Saturday I lost my debit card. So, like, I had no money, and I'm, like, calling my boss. I'm like, bro, I had to use the company card.
Damn, dude.
But, like, it was a struggle. Like, my Lyft wasn't even, I don't have a card registered to my Lyft.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to call somebody to call the Lyft for me. I was just like, damn,
dude.
bro. Hey, but I'm in a good place right now. So, it's a no biggie to pay for it. But still, it's still kind of like,
yeah.
Motherfucker, that was like a day and a half of work.
I've gotten my car towed 3 times when I was going to school. Sometimes I'm like late for class in the school parking lot. Yo, I remember the worst one I had. I had $280 to my name. We had just paid rent.
Yeah. We
had groceries for 2 weeks. And my car gets towed. I remember you came to pick me up and take me to the tow station.
Yeah,
and dude, I was like $20 for the rest of the month. Fuck, bro. So that's what I'm talking about, like being broke, living shitty, but not shitty because we always had each other and like we've always had a great time, but
it was a good shitty.
Yeah. And so that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today. It's like I'm trying to figure out how we made it to where we are, because like we always made plans of what we wanted to do, whether it was physical, creative, or whatever, you know. So like you and Alec were working on getting certified, right? Alex was working on his like second certification. You were working on your first. I'm going to school. Around the time I was a waiter, I worked part-time at the VA and going to school full-time. And you guys are busting ass just trying to fucking pay rent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Alec was working express jobs, the temp jobs, because he didn't have enough clients as a personal trainer working at LA Fitness at the time. So he would wake up like at fucking, like he had no days off for like 5-6 months, dude. You know what I mean? Like any day off he would have, he was working as an express at the temp agency, fucking driving forklifts and all that. And I remember we would be running low on groceries, and he'd be like, yo, he would ask the agency to put him like in food places. And remember we had that giant bag of like 10 pounds of pancake mix.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be eating pancakes every day because we're so fucking broke, dude. Like, or like whenever, this is kind of sad to say, but sometimes homeless people would be like, yo, I'll buy you $100 worth of food if you just give me $20 or shit like that, and use their EBT card. I did that like 4 times.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we lived in such a bad area. There's like drug addicts and stuff around there, and sometimes people have EBT cards or whatever, and they're like, yo, give me $20 and I'll fucking buy you $100 worth of food. You're over there buying fucking groceries with like a crackhead like walking right next to you, scratching his head and shit. But like, you got to do what you got to do to make ends meet, especially when you have a goal. And at the time, our goal was, let's save up to buy a vehicle and let's go fucking travel to South America, baby. And maybe around the world. Let's try to get it. So that was what our lives revolved. And we were trying to have jobs that could transfer over as we're traveling, just in case we ran out of money. And that's how we kept it going, you know, like we had some sense of hope and we were always planning. And another good thing, like I'm talking about the friendship. Yeah, we've always had a goal. And talking about the friendship, we always cut everybody out who wasn't about it or who would talk like shit and constantly be negative. You know, like, I don't want to say who it is, but there was a person that's always like, oh, you guys are still doing that? Like, oh, that's still a thing? And I'm like, it's been a thing since I fucking came back, bro. Like, this is all I'm thinking about. Yeah. You know? And then, or like the friends that are like, come on, bro, let's fucking party. And then be like, dog, like, my weekend is the only time I have to be creative. I work full time. Or like whatever the thing is. And you know, we slowly had to cut those people out. Or like, like most of the friends, even to this day that I have, are friends that I work out with. Because I just simply don't have the time to hang out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like me and Alec, the only times we get together now, because we're both so busy, is to hang out. And we try to lift like 3 times a week. And we lift for like 3 hours super slow and shit, but like, and put some work in. Or like when we went to the field, you know, we all lifted, we made a super hard workout, and then we just hung out, you know? Yeah. And like that's the only way I can kick it with my friends now, because I'm fucking fat, I'm overweight. And it's very hard for me to like go out and have a good time when I know I'm not putting in the work. So like the first thing we did is set goals and try to stick to them. And we weren't always so good about them, you know, like sometimes we were like, yo, let's go on a cocaine bender. And we're fucking doing coke for like 2 days, you know, or like this is at the early stages.
The good old days. It's like,
you know, like whatever the case is, you know, and as you keep growing and evolving, you know, you have to try to change your ways to be who you want to be. But what I'm very proud is, here's what I'm trying to say. I'm very proud because you're working a fucking full-time job and you still show up here. You go take photos and you're putting in a lot of effort, even though like the last week you've been lacking, you know? Yeah. Thanks. You're still progression-wise are doing great. So I just wanted to let you know, like, because I know I felt it today when I saw you and shit, and you're like, bro, like, I'm like, dog, you don't got nothing to apologize about, you know, like, you're doing good. Just try to keep it up. Because sometimes you start losing that momentum. You stop feeling bad about what you're doing, you know, like, you'll make a plan. Yeah. And what will happen is, like, for example, for me, I got to come clean. I binged yesterday, right? Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I have an eating disorder. And it's really bad. So, and also I have hypothyroidism, but my blood work is fine. Yeah. So it's even worse. So, and I don't take medication for it. And when I get super clean and healthy, like my blood work for hypothyroidism will come back healthy. But I'm pretty sure like these past, I've been doing really good. And then, I hadn't binged since the last time I told you I binged, which was a few months ago, maybe a month, like 2 months ago. And what happened with me is things are going so good in my life, Rodolfo. Yeah. I'm putting in the work. We're working. We show up. We're having a great time. I even allow myself to go to 2 parties.
2 back-to-back.
Yeah. Right? And I had so much fun, bro, because those are our childhood friends. They're people we grew up with who are still keeping it real. Yeah. And they're fucking killing it, you know? And I go and I hang out with them. And I had a great time, you know, hanging out with Louis. Shout out. He's such a dope dude. I love him, you know? Like, I love... genuine. Yeah, huh? I love being around him. And your sister is probably the funniest woman I've ever met in my life. And just hanging out and going and allowing myself to have fun felt really good, you know? So I've been trying to, because people in my life have pointed out that that's a bad thing about me, that I'm always about work. Yeah. Like, hard, you know, because
we've had our little talks.
Yeah. And I do agree with you guys, because I do want to be successful, you know, but for me, everything is about balance, you know, like even if you work hard, you have to play hard. Which is why I like drinking, and why sometimes I'll like, yeah, fuck it, I'll have a cigarette. I don't like smoking, but just feeling like a badass, you know, or like being like, yeah, fuck my body,
doing
you know,
rad shit with your friends.
Yeah, it feels good, you know, like, and for me, like, that kind of serotonin dump and that kind of happiness outweighs the bad of it, you know?
Yeah. No, for
So
sure.